Now, Sharaf's presentation today is titled AI in Education, Ethical, Strategic and Practical Insights for Transforming Assessment and RPL. Sharaf is a Melbourne-based entrepreneur and technologist specialising in AI and education technology, or EdTech. As the founder and CEO of XponixAI, he leads the development of AI-driven solutions for education, workforce training and organisational knowledge management. Folks, please give a very warm welcome to Sharaf.
I think the good thing about this session, that straight after, we will have lots of drinks. So we have to be ready. Excellent. Okay. So that's my, you can add me on LinkedIn as well. So feel free to have a chat after the session as well. If you have any questions after, anytime, you can feel free to message me on LinkedIn. So we'll leave it for a few seconds so you get the chance to scan the QR code. Maybe you want to ask me questions after this session, or maybe you don't want to. It depends how we go. Okay. While this slide is up, I just want to ask a question here. In the last 7 days, how many of you used ChatGPT or any other models? Just raise your hand. Okay. How many of you used the same yesterday? Okay. How about today? In the last hour? In the last 10 minutes? So there you go. We use it all the time. We use it all the time. So the thing is, we have to make sure we all educated in how we use AI in ethical manner, and at the same time, how we integrate these systems in our institutions as well. As we all know, what we've learned the last 2 years since the release of ChatGPT, it has to be, well, it's becoming part of everything we do, either at home, at the work we do, in the assessment, in the training. So we've been using it a lot. Okay. And today, we'll talk a little bit in a different way about AI, because I'm pretty sure most of you attended many sessions. They will talk about tools. You can use this tool. You can integrate this system. That's how you do it this way. But we have to go back to the basics. So we have to know what happened, how AI evolved as well. So we need to understand the fundamentals of AI and how we got to this point that we are in today. So everyone is talking about AI, AI. Why we started to talk about it this much only after November 2022, and we only talked about it a little bit before. So we will explain to you why AI matters now and how things evolved, and then we'll show you some ethics and governance tips you can use in your institution as well. We will show you some use cases. We will talk about AI in assessment. So why, we will identify some gaps, why we've been struggling with assessments as well. So this is one of the topics. Institutions have been struggling in terms of students can get the information from ChatGPT or other models and just chuck it in the assignment. So how we can solve this problem as well as the other gaps in the assessment and VIT. We'll talk a bit about RPL again. What are the pain points and how AI can be used to solve some of these issues with RPL. Then we'll show you a demo, a platform developed by XponixAI team. We call it Competency AI with K. How we solve some of the issues in VIT and other education institutions using scenario-based role-play assessment as well. And then we'll show you some future trends, and we'll try to leave some time for Q&A. Okay, so going back to the basics. What's AI? So AI, we talk about it a lot. Now, in a simple terms, So AI is a computer system capable of performing tasks that typically require human intelligence. Okay, so learning, reasoning, and pattern recognition. Okay, there are many examples. So if you are using Netflix, you've got Netflix recommendations. You've got face recognition as well. This is AI, some sort of AI. YouTube recommendations as well. And then in 2022, the large language models concept was introduced. So what's the difference between what happened now with Gen AI and what is the AI we talk about before 22? So in 2015, I will try to be quick here. Elon Musk and Sam Altman, they decided to establish a company called OpenAI. When they established the company, they had no idea what kind of systems they want to build. The only thing they knew about is they want to create an open source company that control AI once it becomes an available technology. So it took them 4 years to create GPT-1. Then after 6 months, they created GPT-2 at the time. Before this, Elon Musk said, okay, I want to merge OpenAI with Tesla because you guys not progressing now. So they had disagreement. Elon Musk got upset. He took his 100 million and left. Sam Altman reached out to Microsoft and said, okay, we need money. Would you like guys to partner with us in building these systems? That's what we achieved so far. And they managed to secure 10 billion fund and to get 49% of OpenAI non-for-profit at the time shares. So the fund accelerated the research, and they managed to come up with GPT. It wasn't called ChatGPT at the time. And they came up with the concept of large language models. Okay, so it's an AI that mimic human brain, while before this, we usually pre-program it. So we create a set of algorithms that would say, for example, if someone clicks here and clicks there, the direction is this way, or if else. So it's a set of algorithms. While the AI now is a machine learning, so it learned from everything on the internet. So millions and billions of parameters. And it really mimics the human brain. So it learns. It's not, you don't have to pre-program it. That's why what you use now is something gets generated from the training that these machines has gone through. So that's the difference between 2022 and before 2019. Now, we were lucky we got early access into OpenAI in 2019, so we were part of their research panel, and we got to explore this technology a long time ago. Even if you compare GPT-2 now with GPT-5, there's a huge difference. But in 2019, we were like, what is a shocking technology? So we saw what's happening and what's coming. Now, so what I talked about now is narrow AI. So we have 3 eras of AI. So the narrow AI, the artificial general intelligence, and the artificial superintelligence. So everything we talked about before is narrow AI. It's an AI systems good at one particular task, okay? And we gave example like Netflix recommendations, fraud alerts, and then we got ChatGPT. Now, when we first got ChatGPT, the system is still in the narrow stage, okay? But what's happening now, ChatGPT and the other large language models, they're moving from the narrow AI to the artificial general intelligence. So what AGI means, AGI systems are as smart as us humans collectively. So imagine you have the best doctor, the best physicians, the best teacher and tutor and assessor. Again, that's what we call AGI. And some predictions, we're going to achieve it sometime in 2028. So we will have extremely powerful systems that will be achieved in a couple of years' time. Now, after this, we will get into the super artificial intelligence. That's what, when things get a bit scary, because we have really extremely smart systems, way smarter than us as a human collectively. They will come up with innovations, synthetic data as well. So systems where they can take decisions by themselves, they can take control of things as well. So it's super intelligent systems. And other terms, they call it the singularity point as well. So we might reach sometime late 2030s or early 2040s as well. So that's where, as a community and governments, we are responsible to make sure that things are regulated, things are in control, and it doesn't fall into the bad people's hands. So GenAI is, it writes text, it can create images, it can create videos now, it recognizes patterns, and there are different AI systems as well. So GenAI is one branch of the AI umbrella. Again, you would have heard about open source and closed source models. So I thought to explain a little bit about these systems. So when you talk about any AI company, if you want to implement any AI systems in your institutions, it's good to know what are the difference between open source and closed source, and which one you think would work better within your institutions. Open source AI, for example, the Llama from Meta. We've got Mistral AI, which is a French company. Open source is a system or AI built where you can download the code and host it on your own premises or on the clouds. So you know how the code has been built, and you can fine-tune it to be expert in a certain fields or tasks. While the closed source, they are black box. We have no idea how it's been built. We only can use them through APIs, application programming interface. So imagine Airbus A380 using Rolls-Royce engine. So they don't know how it's been built. They can't build it, but they use the engine to fly the plane. So it's some sort of like similar concept, but again, you can't even unpack it. So it's a closed box. The closed source always ahead of the open source. They're way smarter. They can perform better. And the way you use it is you pay per token. So anything you type and you get an output, you pay for this one. While the open source, you only pay the hosting and the GPUs as well. Again, some people, they prefer open source because they don't want the data to go to the closed source. But it doesn't perform as good, so it depends which task they want to use it for. Again, some people use mix of open source and closed source, depends how sensitive the information they have. Okay, but the closed source now, they get audited. OpenAI now, they will be opening centers in Australia as well, so we don't have to worry about where the data go and if it leaves Australia as well. They get audited. They are certified ISO and SOC as well. So, that would give us some comfort. You can use OpenAI through Microsoft Azure as well. It's like you are using your own Microsoft suite. So there are different solutions we use for the closed source to make sure the data remain within Australia. So that's basically some differences between the closed and open source models. Moving to the ethical part of AI. So always when you implement, or if you want to use any tool in your institution, again, AI is not replacing. That's what we keep saying. It's not replacing. It's when we think about it this way. In the early 2000s, we got introduced to the learning management system concept as well. We got introduced to the digital and online learning. So that amplified and helped tutors to save time, to make things easier for the students to log in and go through the courses. AI is the same. This is another layer of efficiency will be added to the digital learning. So it would help us as a tutors and assessors in the work we do. So people first, we have to think of people all the time when we implement these systems, okay? Fairness as well. It is important to do proper testing when you implement any AI tool to make sure does not discriminate, the system works well, and it's fair as well. There are the Australian government principles and ethical use of AI as well. You can find it online. That will guide you in terms of how to use the AI ethically in your organization. Privacy, which I mentioned as well before. Sometimes there are sensitive data. Make sure any tool you implemented is what we prefer. It's an Australian tool as well, so the data remains within the country. Transparency and accountability as well. It's always good to advise students, if you are using AI to assess the student assignments, that its AI has been used. Same as when we create content, we say, okay, we've got AI help in this content as well. So it's always good to be transparent with the students in terms of AI has been used in this one. On the top of, so what we always recommend, okay, you are using this assessment tool, AI assessment tool, as a tutor, it's good to check the feedback and the answers. You can edit and you can modify the feedback and the mark as well. So human in the loop in assessment, we do not recommend to rely 100% on the assessment, on the AI to assess. So technology will move faster than policy, and that's what we're talking about. So we have to be up to date and to make sure our policy aligns with the development in AI. So sometimes when we develop a feature in some of the systems we build, in a couple of days, we would see, okay, new updates or a new LLM update that we need to implement again. So what's happening now is accelerating. So there's lots of advancement in the technology. So we have to keep up with this and make sure our policy and your internal policy is reflected within the updates you can see. Assessment. So coming from a software development company, we receive a lot of inquiries and questions about assessment. Institutions been struggling with students copying the answers from ChatGPT, then chuck it on Claude, then chuck it on another paraphrasing systems. No way any system can pick it up. No way. It doesn't matter how other people say, okay, we've got this tool can identify if it's AI generated. It can't. It can't. We've experimented many tools. So I think what we can see in the coming period is the way we assess. We need to rethink of assessment, and I guess on a government level, they need to think of how participants get assessed as well. So that's one point. And I spoke at the National Education Summit, which was mostly focused on schools as well. We mentioned about how we can flip the learning and assessment experience. We know that after they leave the classroom, they will use AI to help with assignments. So how we can give them tasks? Anyways, they can use AI for these particular tasks, and then we have enough time when they go back to the online training or in the classroom training, where we focus on more critical thinking tasks, and we would have more time to focus on the more important things in the learning process. So I think we need to think how we could flip this, considering the regulatory, if it can be done now, or this is something can be mentioned or integrated in the future updates as well. It's happening, it's coming. It's very tricky with the assessment now, so this is something we need to reconsider along with the government as well. One of the pain points of assessment is how long it takes to assess one student as well, and the moderation. So it's a time consuming, and that's where we should think of AI, how it can work along the assessor to reduce the time it takes them to assess each assignment. So for example, if it takes you 20 minutes or 25 minutes to assess one participant, how we can reduce it to 5 minutes. So as an assessor, you go through the feedback provided by the AI and edit it if you would like, so you don't have to go through the whole assignment at the same time. Again, we will see these systems being part of everything we do as well. It will help in the shorter feedback loop as well. And it's scalable, so you can assess as many students as you would like in a shorter time. One of the things we saw as well, micro-credentials, the reason why we're focusing now on more efficient and fast assessment, because short courses means they're going to finish it quickly and enroll into the into a new course. So the student will be expecting a shorter feedback on their assessment. You know, the traditional assessment as well, delays in the assessment and sometimes inconsistency, while AI is objective, not subjective in the assessment, especially if you train AI before you implement the system and upload some examples so the AI learns from the way you assess. Again, as we mentioned, it's machine learning, so you can train the systems how to assess according to your organization assessment policy as well. We always advise people to start slowly, baby steps. So if you decide to implement assessment tool, AI assessment tool in your organization or your RTO, start with the low tasks, low-level tasks. So you can experiment how the system works. You can learn from the system, you can be more familiar in the system, and at the same time, the AI will learn from you as well. So start slowly, use low-level tasks, and then upgrade as you go. So you can implement more critical tasks as well, and see how you go. Start with a small group of students. Make sure what you do is monitored as well, and you can fine-tune based on the results you get from the AI. So we recommend testing and testing and testing before you implement any AI tool. Another aspect of the AI you can use in education or in your assessment and training is it can detect early if there's any issues during the study with the students as well. So you would have an early intervention. As the student goes through, let's say there's an AI tutor built for a particular unit of competency, and as the student goes through the learning, there would be pop-up questions and assessment. The AI can understand from the chat between the AI and the students if they have any issues in the unit or any other issues or sentiments as well. So they will flag it in the back end. And the tutor can check and see if there's any issues, and they would speak to the student or decide what is the next steps. So the good thing about it is early intervention, and it can detect, so you don't have to wait for the first assessment or the second assessment to know if the students are struggling with some aspects as well. So this is one of the applications of AI. And the third one is scenario-based simulated assessment. So this is a concept being developed to respond to the student cheating as well. What that means, you would create a scenario or simulated real scenario, and the student will be speaking to the AI in an interview manner or in a chat manner, and based on the chat and the questions they ask, they can be assessed if they understand the topic or not. Or they can try to identify within the simulated environment more information. So again, asking AI questions or asking AI the right question in order to get the right answer. And that will show if the student understands the subject. And also other examples would be testing and assessing student competency. For example, in a role play where in one of the units, they've learned how to instigate an incident, and then they will be assessed in a role play manner based on the questions they are being asked, if they can identify what happened, and if they can write a report about what happened based on the conversation they can pull from the AI. So this is some of the simulated examples which we implemented in XponixAI, which I will show you in a bit as well. That would respond, no way the students can get information from anywhere, because the competency will be identified through the chat as well as through them asking the right questions to fill a report or to answer questions as well. This is a just high-level example how AI can be integrated into assessment. Again, when a student upload an evidence or answer a question, the AI engine will scan the answers or the assessment. It will also, if it's audio or video, now there's a video capabilities where the AI will be able to analyze the video and identify the activities in the video, and then it will map it against the assessment criteria. So as long as you provide the proper rubric assessment criteria, the AI will be able to match student answers, sample assignments, and other evidence against the assessment criteria. And then it will mark the students, score them, provide them with feedback as well. Again, imagine how much time will be saved here. But these systems, as I mentioned, it should be tested thoroughly and trained before it gets implemented. So it's AI in assessment, so provide instant feedback, less marker fatigue. As you know, it will be available 24/7, and it will save a lot of time. There are some caveats here, which I mentioned when I was talking about the assessment, is it's good to provide examples to the AI how you assess and how you mark students, so the AI learns from the way you assess. Provide sample assignments, and it's good to test it for any biases as well, because sometimes from the way students will type, the AI might discriminate a little bit, might think their performance is not good. Maybe they would have a lot of spelling mistakes, so the AI would have some assumptions and will mark them low, but the students are really smart. They might need some improvement in English writing. So again, this is that has to be tested properly to make sure the AI is fair. And we have to be transparent, as I mentioned before. RPL, which is, again, it's some sort of assessment. There are lots of gaps in RPL, and I know it's a tedious process. Lots of work, lots of evidence. It takes a lot of time. We spoke to many assessors. When we say RPL, they just run away. I don't want to do it, because it's just too much, especially when the evidence is not clear as well. Lots of preparation, lots of communications with the participants. So it is a process that, we all struggling with right now. But we thought about how AI can be integrated now. How can we use AI to reduce the time and efforts it take the assessors to work on it? Again, there's a lot of one of the things we've noticed, especially when the participants provide really not polished documents as well, it's hard to map them sometimes with the PCs or with the units. So that will create an equity gap. How AI can identify and help in going through these documents and make sure it's properly understood and properly mapped as well. This is a high-level process we thought of as well. We've created a more detailed process, but for the sake of this presentation, the way we thought about it in terms of the start and end, how AI can communicate with the participants and with the assessors at the same time. So there will be an onboarding. So imagine you are talking to AI avatar, and the AI will start talking to you about, okay, what's your background? Where's your LinkedIn profile? Provide me with your resume. So it's the initial discussion between the participant and the AI. And also if the participant knows already what kind of qualifications they want to RPL against as well. If not, AI will try to initially map based on their experience and the initial documents they provide with training.gov, and they will match them with the appropriate qualifications or unit of competency. So they will be matched to TGA units, and then once they identify the units or the qualifications, they will be asked through AI to provide more evidence as well. Previous work experience, more evidences to be provided, and then once everything is uploaded, so far the comms are between the AI and the participant, no assessor yet. Once they provide all the documents, they will submit the application, and they can see in a dashboard the progress, what are the gaps, and even within the gaps, some institutions, they prefer for AI to pop some questions to cover some unit of performance criteria, or they might do some small assessments just to cover the gaps if needed. So once the application is submitted, the assessor will receive a notification saying, okay, this participant submitted everything, and that's what we identified. Those are the gaps. This is the feedback. So the assessor now will only go through what's been submitted, check it, make sure everything's fine. They might get in touch with the participant if they need more evidence, and then there will be an outcome and career pathways at the end. So imagine how much time are saved here. So where the assessor will be involved, 50 to 60% of the time can be saved using AI, but human in the loop. So assessor should monitor and check everything and approve the final results as well, or edit them if needed. Okay, so I talked briefly about XponixAI. So this is an application developed. It will be released in beta maybe in a month or so, developed by XponixAI team. I will show here. Just gonna open my browser. So is it duplicate? And you've got handouts, by the way. So the handout is the example we used to. So the handout here is a gosh, I need to log in again. So there was an incident happened in a beer factory, speaking about drinks. So we are excited about the next networking event. So I thought it would be good to have a beer example. So the beer, when they printed the cans, so it were printed upside down. So there was a glitch, something went wrong, and our job is to identify what happened, to talk to the appropriate people in the factory, and come up with a corrective actions as well. So this is one of the scenarios can be used in a simulated assessment, and our job is to make sure we've identified and spoke to the appropriate people so we can fill an incident report and then take corrective actions. So this is the platform dashboard. What you have here is the scenario which gets uploaded in the scenarios, which I will show you later. But what I'm going to do now is show you how this works. Okay. So usually when a participant logs in, as you can see, you've got 3 or 4 pages of a scenario. But as a participant, I will only see the scenario overview. So my job to know everything on this handout. Okay. So that will test the participant competency, how they can talk to the AI, how they can ask the right questions, and if they can answer all the questions and fill the reports based on what they've learned after they completed a particular unit of competency. As you can see here, those are the questions that should be answered, okay? And the only way to answer these questions is to talk to the AI. Now, we start with talking with one, we call it the initial evidence. So let's say in a factory there was 10 workers, there's a manager, there's a night shift, there's a morning shift, there's a supervisor, but only one evidence will be provided. So there's one persona here is showing, and my job is to start asking questions to try to pull as much information as I can. Okay, so you can start by saying what happened. Okay, and then the AI would say, okay, there was 70 cartoons of people, but cans were printed upside down. So that's the first information I got. What did you do about it? So you follow with another question. And then, as you can see here, I initiated an investigation and contacted Michael and Sarah. Now, because their names mentioned here, they will pop up here. Okay? So then, okay, Michael was, so she consulted with Michael. All right, or Sarah. I will click on Sarah and ask Sarah what happened. So you will keep flowing. So the more questions you ask, the more evidence will pop up on the chat as well, and you can start asking more complex. As you learn, when you ask a question, you will get an answer. You will learn something new from the answer. Then you keep going this way as well. Now, the way you ask the questions also, it's an indication if you understand the topic. Because if you don't understand, or if you want to try to get any information from ChatGPT, it doesn't make sense because this assessment is different. It's not, you need to think, you need to ask the right questions, and then in order to answer the provided questions. Just for the sake of time, I will show you a ready example. And one of the examples, like in there. So that's the, this one. So you keep flowing with the conversation, and you can ask as many questions as you like. As you can see here, there's a bit of conversations happening here. More evidences will be provided as well as you go. I see different names here. And then once you pull all the information from the AI personas, you can answer the questions here. And then what happens, once you submit, so there's a submit button at the end. So we're going to complete it, and the AI will provide the feedback about everything you've done. So as you can see here, I've got 44 out of 96, for example. It can be competent or not yet competent. Again, it can be aligned with the unit of competencies assessment as well. And then for example, in this feedback here, the student only identified 5 personas. So they spoke to 5 people out of 10. So that will reduce the mark as well. So their job is to talk to all the witnesses in the simulated example. And this is an overview of the feedback about the student performance from chat perspective and also from answering the right questions as well. And as you can see, it will check the grammar, it will mark the student, and it will provide, so this is the given answer and the reason for the mark, okay, why they've got full mark here, okay. Again, that's a different one. They've got 2 out of 2, or they are competent or not yet competent, why they are competent or why they are not yet competent. This is half an answer, so as you can see, why. So that's the given answer, reason for the mark, and sample answer. So that's how AI works. Instant feedback, which we prefer to be checked by the assessor as well, if needed, or the assessor can pick some samples to make sure the AI is providing the appropriate feedback. Now, how that works in the back end. So from assessor perspective or tutor perspective, they would upload a scenario, which what you have there, and so approved scenarios, and they would do it this way. So that's the scenario page, and the scenario gets uploaded here, and then you can pick the industry. Again, it depends on the example you are using, and the scenario as well, and the evidences can be added this way as well. So this is the scenario, which will be uploaded or can be generated through AI as well, and you can fine-tune it. In the forms, these are the questions to be asked as well. And the questions will be generated here, and the rubric or the assessment criteria, assessment conditions as well. So they can be edited, and that's the rubric as well. Why competent, not yet competent. To be competent, they should be able to do 1, 2, 3, 4. So you generates the assessment criteria in there, and the AI will do the job. And that's where the assessment, everything gets pulled together as an assessment. You can see scenario overview. If you want to add additional scenario context, rubric, and form as well. So you click here, you view the form and the prompt. Yeah, so what we saw from participant perspective needs some preparation in the back end to make sure the assessment criteria is properly created, the questions being created, and also the scenario is being created properly. And there's also a test mode. So you can test prototype to make sure before you release it to the students, you can test it from all aspects in terms of if you want it to be, if there's one only person to talk to as a role play, or multi-agents as well. So there are more into it, but because of the time, we'll have to do it quickly. Okay, so that's how XponixAI work. And this is one of the applications we thought of that could respond to some of the issues in the industry in terms of assessment, student cheating as well. And that's what I guess will be coming in the coming period to respond to the way we assess in some parts, I guess. Okay, I'm just gonna extend. So I think one slide left. Let's go through it. Okay, so what we see now is amazing, but also there's a future trends. We will see lots of advancements. Speaking about the AGI, you will see shocking capabilities of AI happening in the coming couple of years. So we have to be ready. We have to be well informed. We have to be really educated in terms of how these systems will evolve and how we can use it in our institutions as well. So there will be more of adaptive learning LLMs will have huge factory of questions, of materials that will adapt according to the student performance. So each student will be treated based on their skills level and knowledge as well. We will see a multimodal AI systems. So AI will be capable of not only generate text, so they will work with videos, they will work with audios, there will be sensors as well. We will see more AI capabilities that would help us in the hands-on learning and assessment as well, not only the text-based assessment or training as well. So this is coming, and also the multi-agent assessment, especially in the validation space. So we'll see autonomous agents that experts in a different aspects of the assessment. So there will be an agent context expert agent. There will be the auditor, the bias auditor. You can be fine-tuned to check. There will be the moderator, authenticity agent. Again, we'll see a mixture of agents coming in the next period that would help in a different aspects of the assessment and the learning process. That's about it. Ready for questions.
Folks, if you have a question, just stick your hand up. We've only got time for 1 or 2 questions. So stick your hand up and I'll bring the microphone over. Who'd like to ask a question to Sharaf? Okay. I think you won by a million.
I'm pretty sure you're going to ask me more questions than a networking event after a couple of beers.
Given the future roadmap that you painted for AI and how advanced it's going to get toward that sort of super intelligent AI,
yeah.
Do you see, and you've sort of said the ethical nature of this, they'll always have a human to check, but AI is going to move that far forward that do you see a future where we don't need the human to check?
I don't think so. I don't think so because, for example, personally, I do not want to send my kids. Let's talk about school's perspective of it. I don't want to send my kids to a school where it's 99% robotics. Yeah. As a human, we need the human element because there are different skills we learn from humans and assessors as well. That comes back to the government policy because what we do here is highly regulated, right? So does the government want to replace all trainers and assessors or not? Yeah. I don't think so. Even the systems are so advanced. I think they should augment and work along teachers and tutors and assessors as well. No one wants to send their kids to 100% automated school, right? Yeah.
Sharaf, unfortunately, that's pretty much all we got time for in terms of questions. Was there a final point that you wanted to make to leave everyone to think about?
I would advise people just to stay up to date. Don't miss the train. Experiment yourself. Try to subscribe to different AI magazines, get new updates, follow some gurus on X, and just stay updated with what's happening. Otherwise, we will miss the train. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together.